Yep, this is your host Josh, and today we are checking out Gigabyte's new M28U gaming monitor, the only monitor on the market that enables you to hit 4K and 120 frames per second, 120 Hertz. And this new monitor from Gigabyte's 28 inches, it's promised to unlock the full potential of the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5 with ultra smooth, buttery frame rates and crisp, clear visual performance. So we had three major questions going into this. Is HDMI 2.1 all it's cracked up to be? Is a monitor a better experience than a TV when it comes to gaming and when it comes to gaming with your next gen console? And the third is the M28U by Gigabyte a worthy entry point into HDMI 2.1 and next gen? It's obviously the cheapest out of all the HDMI 2.1 monitors and obviously one of the only ones available at the moment given the shortage, but is it worth the price of entry and is it a good monitor? So we're going to answer those three questions. So the first question is HDMI 2.1. Do you know what? Like, I've tried this out now on a range of different games on Halo, which is an old game, Master Chief Collection, jumping in, and I know they've had 4K textures for a while since the Xbox One X, but wow, I was just sitting there mesmerized by the grass texture in multiplayer, which isn't even, probably running at full resolution. And the whole thing popped. It just felt like a PC-like experience. It just felt dynamic, it felt smooth, and it runs at 120 frames per second. So I'm totally sold on that, and I'm totally sold on what that means for Halo Infinite. So super excited. I do think there's a really big difference between running at a 4K 60 or maybe you're running at 2K or 1080 60. That jump up to be able to run 4K and 120 Hertz at the same time, that is a next gen experience. The low latency, there's like zero delay between your input on your controller and what happens on screen. And it's fluid and smooth. And when you're playing online multiplayer games, your ability to snipe someone or take them out, you just feel more in control, and it doesn't feel buggy, it doesn't feel glitchy, it doesn't feel like the network is battling against you. So I believe that's a resounding yes. Like, I do believe getting a HDMI 2.1 monitor or TV is worth it. The second question is monitor versus TV. So I've got a TV now that can do 4K 100 Hertz, which is very good. But I would say this monitor is a better experience, and there's something about how much pixels and resolution and frame rate they can pack into the smaller space, but also just having a dedicated gaming space. So sitting at a desk like this, sitting up close, it feels more immersive. I feel more in control. I feel like I can play better. I feel like I'm really focused. I'm putting some time aside in a unique space to play. So I do believe the monitor, technically, as well as just the virtue of how we use a monitor versus a TV, is superior when it comes to gaming, even on a console. So I'd say that's a yes as well. And the third question is the Gigabyte 28U. When I first turned it on, I freaked out for a moment because I thought, oh my God, like, this is not that much better than the monitor I've got. But actually, it was a matter of settings, and you need to dive into the settings of the monitor. You need to set HDR up properly. You need to set your resolution up properly. But you also need to dive into the settings of the console and the game. So there's a lot to consider, and you kind of need to get the balance right between those three things. But when you do, it just looks remarkable. And the thing I reference, and I ran some of those like high-end demos that you might find when you go to a department store or electronics retailer. When you go in, you see that kind of beautiful food in slow motion and on their kind of flagship 10 grand, 12 grand TV. So I found some of those videos and ran that on this, and it was just jaw-dropping and stunning. And for me, it looked as good as some of those high-end, $8,000, $10,000 TVs. So I think the M28U, and I'm surprised people aren't talking about it more because the price point is good, it's spot on. It's one of the only monitors also on the market where you can get entry into HDMI 2.1 for now. And I would say, look, don't wait. If you're after a monitor and you want something that's gonna deliver and be set up for the future, the M28U is a great option. 28 inches is a good size. Love to get a 32, but you know what? It's almost double the price. So for 28 inches, you know, it is good. It's better than most other sizes. It's better than 27. That extra inch will just get you over the line. So yeah, look, I think this monitor is great, and I wouldn't hesitate in recommending it. Just make sure you get the settings right when you pick it up across the content that you're serving to the screen, as well as the hardware of the screen itself. And once you've done that, Bob's your uncle. And it's not short of features. You're getting 2 HDMI 2.1 ports. You've got the KVM feature, the ability to kind of switch between, you know, a computer input and the console, or 2 computer inputs using the same mouse and keyboard is really great for those that use this for gaming as well as work. So look, it's got a lot. They haven't really spared anything feature-wise. It feels pretty top end to me. I know it's as good as some of those Acer Predator monitors or the top end, so the LG Ultra Gear monitors that you can get, but those are double the price. So for an entry-level price, this is a really, really great option. This has been your host, Josh. We highly recommend the M28U. If you're in the market for a HDMI 2.1 monitor for your console or even for your PC, don't hesitate to jump on board with this one. You won't be disappointed. Yo, this has been your host, Josh. If you like this content, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell below, and we'll make more great content like this. Peace and love to you all.